that didn't go down well. So consequently, I suppose I shot myself in the foot with that organisation. Well, even though that individual has now left, I have since reapproached them to see if there is any hours or any pool time or anything available. No, short answer. It's the easiest way to put it. And it's difficult because, like I said, they control 6 pools up here on the coast. So I'm either in a situation where I potentially look at running the business from home. I then need council approval, then need changes in the home. We'll all of a sudden have strangers coming into the house. That's just, from what I understand and from what my investigations have proven so far, it's between $60,000 and $100,000 to set it up from home. The monetary side of it's not such a big risk. Well, it is, but it isn't. It's because there's payback into it. It's the other influencing factors. The strangers coming into the house, the liability insurance, etc.
Make it a not attractive option.
It's no, it's not one that, it has short-term gains, but limited short-term gains associated with it. And now, again, we're hitting winter now at the moment, so the daytime hours that are primarily available, even though the pool's heated at home and all that sort of stuff, that the daytime hours are colder, so parents are less likely to come, because it's not undercover, it's not indoors, it's an outdoor backyard pool. Good summertime business for 6 months, but not sure about the long-term longevity of it. And I mean, I've investigated it slightly. I've got a few more people I've got to speak to in regards to trying to figure out what it actually costs to build my own centre. So far that seems to be a scary figure. From what I understand, we're up near the $500,000 mark. It's not that I'm not confident that the business would go through. Unfortunately, at the moment, I don't have $500,000 lying around to put into that. It'd be really nice if I did. But that's not something that's shining through at the moment. And with the work that I'm doing at the moment, because it's part-time, I have to be doing it for at least 2 years before the bank will consider loans. It's just, unfortunately, it's a job that you tend to do for love and not for money. The problem is the world relies on money, not love.
Yes, it makes it tricky, doesn't it?
So, while I have a ball doing it, I've got the personality to do it. I've been told by numerous people that I relate very well to the children. It's because I'm a 2-year-old at heart. It's easy. Or maybe 4, because I've got a bit more community than that. But it's how else and where else to do it here. Potentially the guy that I was looking at sharing a business or buying into his business, I'm investigating the option of buying that pool outright, and for want of a better term, either leaving him in there for a period of time, or increase the rent, why not? So that then that starts to form an income, and for want of a better term, he'll start to build a business base up for me, at which point I will come in and take over. That's an option. Unfortunately, it's probably a 2-year away option, 18 months to 2 years. In saying that, I still don't know what the current owners, or if the current owners are even interested in selling the pool. So I suppose there's work I can do in that regard to try and figure that out. Might bring a bit of resolution to it. I know roughly what he pays in rent, so I know what the pool should be worth. Unfortunately, this world doesn't work on should and could. Should be worth X amount, they'll want Z. Hopefully we'll meet at Y, but you never know. It just makes it hard.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
It sounds like what you've been through over the last few months with the odd business opportunity that fell through, and the current working situation sounds like you've had some obstacles to overcome, but you've been going through all of your options, which is great, because at least you're looking for another way to make money that's going to make you a bit happier.
Yep.
Where you are at the moment.
Yeah, that's one of the issues at the moment. There's money sitting in the account, but there's nothing. It's not earning. It's not growing. Again, the Learn to Swim it's for love, not money. So it's a part-time job, and it's working split shifts here and there. Makes it. If you want to have the family life, it makes it very difficult to fully commit to the Learn to Swim scenario for someone else, if that makes sense. Because you've got to work 5 afternoons a week, you've got to work 5 mornings a week, and you've got to work half of Saturday. All of a sudden, I don't see my family.
It's long hours.
And because I've got my coaching qualifications as well, so potentially I start at 5:30 in the morning. And then you're coaching kids in the afternoon, you're finishing at 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. Well, the 4 and 8-year-old, when do they see me?
It makes that time limited.
And when I did that 12-week stint at the beginning of the year, neither of the kids processed that very well. They learnt to, but things were unsettled. And, well, I don't think I'm solely responsible for that. A big chunk of me not being there added to that.
Change to the routine.
Yeah. And I mean, the flip side, if I'm going to buy the business, or buy a business like that, then I'm going to go to that situation anyway. Yes, but if I'm the owner of it, I can employ a manager, so I could employ a coach. I could bring someone on that could do the early mornings and the late afternoons, so I'm there from 9 till 4, for instance, or 9 till 3, and I do a couple of shifts in the afternoons and things like that. So if that's close to the school where the kids go, then when they finish they could come on down and potentially do the homework for half an hour and then go and do their swimming, and it could work. There's more of a potential for it to work. I just don't know. It all hinges, I suppose, on what that value of that business is. And also I'd like to think that I could get it at a reasonable rate. I also know that it has an existing tenant in it. So they then might turn around and say, well, we've got a tenant in there who's got a 5-year option. So 5 years at his rent rate's going to be a lot of money.
Have you put the question to the owner yet?
Trying to find out how to actually get in contact with the owner. I've done property searches and I've gotten a company name and a PO box, but I have no email address, I have no address and things like that. And I'm not sure whether or not there's a potential conflict of interest, I don't know if that's the right term. When I was looking at that business, the current owners or the leaseors of that building may have become aware of me in those discussions. So I'm just being cautious. I don't want to approach them on my own. So if I get somebody else to do that, then they then view that they're doing the legwork on it, so then they want to get paid for it, and the snowball just keeps on rolling. And yeah, doing a part-time job at the moment, that's the bigger the money, the snowball, the harder things get. And I mean, on the flip side, just go out and get a different job and work 9 to 5 like everybody else. Don't really want to do that. Enjoy spending time with my family, enjoy spending time with my kids. Like hanging out with my wife sometimes. She's pretty cool. So it's a tough balance. But I suppose that's what it is for everyone. It's trying to find different ways to fit in, and I've tried fitting in at work by joking, and I'm getting taken literally on certain things, so it's just, I'm then ending up having a chat with management once a week about things that they're overhearing from other staff that have been completely and utterly misinterpreted. So now I go the opposite and I don't talk to anyone, so then it's even more alienating. but at least then I'm not getting in trouble. It's just...
That sounds hard.
Yeah, it's frustrating. They asked me to go and get extra qualifications, so I went and spent $1,000 and went and got those qualifications. And they haven't made use of it in any way, shape or form, and haven't indicated in any way, shape or form that they may make use of those qualifications. So I'm kind of wondering why I spent the money.
Understandable.
So unless I can look at it from a long-term scenario, which is, okay, well I spent the money because of what I might do with my own pool down the line. Okay, but the way the qualifications work is that you go and do the theory, you've then got 12 months to complete everything else. If you don't complete everything else, you might as well have not done the theory. So I did that, and 3 months have already passed, and there's been no sign of any change. And I've spoken to them about it probably half a dozen times. Haven't really ever been given an answer that I find acceptable or that I'm happy with. So consequently, I'm just in limbo. And that sucks.
Nobody likes to be in that situation.
Yep.
That's understandable. Well, the emotions that you're experiencing and describing to me sound to be completely normal to that situation. Nobody likes to feel like they're being ignored or being bullied at work, for want of a better word. Yes, having heard your situation, I'm really impressed with the way that you've been able to cope, because it has been difficult. You say you try to talk to people and have fun, but then they take it the wrong way, and then otherwise having to be quiet and be isolated. That's not a nice situation for anyone to be in. So I'm really impressed with how you've tried to look at different ways of managing the situation.
Yep. I just don't know if I've got any other ideas into it, or if it's just head down, bum up and get on with it.
Well, if the situation, it seems that you're unsure about your ability to cope, but we might want to look at getting some sort of specialist help. There might be these people you can speak to, like mediators who are good at conflict resolution.
Yep.
Otherwise, possibly going on to see another counsellor who can probably more help you in a more rounded approach to dealing with all of this.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
Well, thank you for coming in today and having a chat to me.
That's okay.
Hopefully I was able to help a little bit. Otherwise we could book another session for you, and hopefully talking a bit more about the situation, we can work through some more strategies.
Okay. Thanks.